How's it going, Gabe?
Good, how are you?
First up, Gabriel, do you prefer one?
It doesn't matter.
Okay. How have you been settling in? Obviously, this defensive line lost some guys up front. Maybe you're looked at as a guy they can plug in right away, but how do you think you're progressing toward that? How are you fitting in?
I think it's a steady progression, still trying to learn stuff. I know it's a new scheme and stuff for me, so I've definitely been trying to learn everything and wrap my head around it so I can play fast.
What does it mean to be an opportunistic defense and one that forces a lot of turnovers?
Striking at the ball, the ball is ours, so we're trying to get it back at all points. So, that comes with, seeing the running back arm, striking at it, trying to get the ball constantly, trying to do jump balls. The ball is ours, so we got to have that mindset that we're trying to get it back.
How would you describe your game and what you can bring to the defensive line room?
It's a great question. I don't like to just give myself a certain thing because I can do it all. But I don't know if there's a certain word. I guess powerful. I bring a lot of power to the D line, but I also bring some finesse. So, versatile, I guess you would say.
How does Dylan Stewart help the defensive tackles?
Obviously, with the year he had last year, people are going to be like, oh, yeah, we got to stop Dylan Stewart. But, there's a whole bunch of talent in the interior as well, and they kind of leave that behind because they're so focused on Dylan Stewart, and that gives us opportunity to be able to, at least get the pressure off of us a little bit. But, I feel like as the season goes on, that'll kind of change because they'll see what we can do.
What are some things that you learned at your previous stop in college football that you've been able to apply so far here at South Carolina?
Definitely consistency, throughout practice, throughout games and all that stuff like that. It's just having a consistency mindset that, I'm not just going to start practice off good and I'm going to finish it good as well, just throughout practice and not be a up and down type of person.
Where have you seen yourself make the most progress since arriving on campus, and kind of the same thing for the defensive line room as a whole?
Probably kind of like speaking up, and I was playing that kind of chill role at A&M, and I got kind of thrown in the fire. It's like, oh yeah, there's people younger than me and stuff like that, and I'm an older guy now, so I gotta be an example for the most part, and I kind of feel like that's what the big part is.
Have there been any other guys in the room that have maybe caught your attention so far throughout practice?
What are you talking about, D-tackle wise? I feel like there's been a steady progression from everybody, because a lot of people were adjusting to the SEC because they weren't SEC players at the beginning. But, everybody has been rising. I feel like we have brought each other along throughout spring and summer and fall. So I feel like it's been a consistent, growth for everybody.
How would you say Coach Robertson has kind of helped you improve so far?
He's given me a confidence that, I kind of lost when I was at A&M. He kind of reassures me that, I do have the ability to be able to play SEC football, not only have the ability to play it, but dominate it. And so I feel like that's been something great that he's ensured me ever since I got here. Thank you.